Hello everybody, welcome to video 2 of adding and subtracting with directed numbers. So in this case, we'll be looking at cases where we actually have two signs next to each other. So for an example of what that looks like, you might have 7 minus 2. In this case, we can actually do something. Whenever we have two signs that are directly next to each other, not separated by an integer as such, so 7 minus 2 would be separated, or minus 7 minus 2 would be separated by integers. So we wouldn't use the rule that I'm about to show you. But when it's not separated by integers and when we just have the signs next to each other, we can combine the signs. And so if we've got two positive signs next to each other, it remains positive. If we've got two negative signs next to each other, it turns positive. So it's like you're taking those two minuses and you're flipping the second one to turn it into a plus, a positive. And then when we have opposing signs next to each other, it remains negative. So if you've got a minus and a plus and a minus, it just remains a minus. Okay, so to put this theory into practice, let's have a look at some questions. So the first one is 3 plus minus 6. So the first thing we want to do is we want to think about what do the two signs next to each other become. In this case, we've got two pluses. So if we look at our table above, two pluses become a plus. So we can write that as 3 plus 6. And then using our number line, we know how to solve this question. We want to start on 3 and then we want to go 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we end up at 9. So 3 plus 6 actually just simplifies to 9. Okay, let's have a look at our second example. So here we have 3 minus 6. The bracket does not change anything in this case. We've still got the same sum, which is 3 minus 6. So in this case, we've got two negative signs next to each other, two minus signs. So we're going to have to combine these signs, and two minus signs makes a positive. So this just becomes 3 plus 6. And if you can see, that's identical to what we did above. So we start on 3 and we go right 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is just, we end up on 9, as you can see. Okay, so now let's continue with some more examples. Here we have minus 3 minus 6. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of signs going on here. So we'll first want to identify where are two signs next to each other. Okay, that is in the middle of these two numbers. So minus 3 minus 6. So how can we transform that minus? We can transform it into a plus. So we can change this into minus 3 plus 6. So we want to look at our number line, go ahead to minus 3, and want to move right 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we end up at 3. Okay, so let's try this again with minus 6 plus 3 for our next example. So where are the two signs touching? In the middle, we've got a plus and a minus. And we know here that a plus and a minus makes a minus. Okay, so we can transform this into minus 6 minus 3. So we want to start at minus 6 and we want to go left 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, where we end up at minus 9. Perfect. Okay, so the final example for this mini worksheet is going to be minus 6 minus plus 3, which ends up as minus 6 minus 3 as we combine those operations. So if we go to minus 6 and we go left 3 places, 1, 2, 3, we end up as with minus 9. It's the same as what we did above. Okay, so that is how we combine operations, and it's really good to continue to practice these questions until you can successfully combine these operations. Okay, so let's continue with some more examples. So our next example is 2 plus 4. This can simplify to 2 plus 4. So we start on 2 and then we move right 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we end up at 6. Okay, so now let's look at our next question. So 2 minus plus 4, we combine operations and we get 2 minus 4. which is equal to, well, let's have a look. So we want to start at 2 and we want to go left 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we end up at -2. Okay, for our next question, we have -2 plus -4. So where are the two operators touching? It's in the middle here. So we've got a plus and a minus, and that makes a minus. So we end up with -2, -4. So let's start at -2, and we want to go left 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we end up at -6. Okay, so let's continue again with the next example. -4, -2. Where are the two operators touching? Okay, so here there are actually not two operators touching because each operator is separated by an integer. And so we'll just calculate the sum as normal. So we start at -4 and we go left 2 places. 1, 2, and then we get -6. Okay. And then finally, we have -4 minus plus 2. So here, unlike above, you can see that there are two operators touching, a minus and a plus, which become a minus. So we can rewrite this as -4 minus 2. So if we start on -4 and we go left 2 places, 1, 2, we end up at -6. Okay, so I hope this is starting to become clearer. So this is the final worksheet that we're going to go through today. And what I recommend you doing is pausing the video here to have a go through these, and then we'll work through the worked out example answers. Okay, welcome back. If you had a go at those, good job. Let's have a work through the answers. So the first question is 4 minus -3. So we want to see where are those two operators touching in the middle, and it's two negatives which make a positive. So 4 plus 3. So we want to start on 4 and we want to move right 3 places. 1, 2, 3, and we end up at 7. Okay, the next one is 3 plus 2. So we want to start at 3. We want to move right 2 places. Why? Because these two operators become a positive. So 3 plus 2. So 1, 2, and that is equal to 5. Okay, the next one is 2 minus -3. What do two negatives make? Two negatives make a positive. So that becomes 2 plus 3. So we want to start on 2 and we want to move right 3 places. 1, 2, 3, and we get 5. Okay, our next question is 9 plus -4. So where are two operators touching? They're in the middle, and we've got a positive and a negative. What does that make? It makes a negative. Okay, so we've got -9 -4. Okay, so if you look at my number line, this actually goes out of bounds, but let's think about what's actually happening here. So we're starting on -9, and we want to move left 4 places. -10, -11, -12, -13. So we'd end at -13. Okay, and then finally we have -5 minus -2. So if we take a look at these two operators, where are they touching? In the middle, and we've got two negatives. As we've said, two negatives make a positive. So that becomes -5 plus 2. So we want to start at -5 and we want to move right 2 places. 1, 2, and we end at -3. Okay, so this is how we add and subtract with directed numbers when we have two signs. I hope this video made sense and I hope it helped.